Granny ain't up yet.
Oh, Jethro! Granny's gone. Her bed ain't been slept in.
What?
She's plumb disappeared. Ain't no sign of her.
Reckon she went back to the hills with Alverna Bradshaw?
No, sir. I seen her after Miss Bradshaw left.
I'll bet she's been kidnapped.
Oh, Paul.
Oh, please don't let no harm come to my darling little granny.
That's real touching, boy.
Well, I sure don't want to have to eat Allie's cooking.
I think I know where she might be.
Where, Paul?
Well, ever since we put up the old cabin out back, Granny has had a certain look in her eyes. I'll bet you that's where we find her. Come on.
Morning, Mrs. Hogg. Mrs. Cow. Good morning, chickens.
Well, we kind of figured we'd find you out here.
Granny, did you spend the night in that little old cabin?
I did, and it was pure heaven.
Heaven? This little shack?
Jim, let's all move back in here where we belong and live the good life.
Granny, we ain't moving out of no 32-room mansion into this dump.
Something sure smells good.
I'm fixing fried ham, whole cakes, and gravy.
Uncle Jed, let's move in here and live the good life.
Please, super stomach, let me set the table first.
Paul, is we really gonna move into this little cabin, all four of us?
Well, if we don't, Granny ain't gonna give us no peace and no victuals.
Well, if you want to stay in the mansion, I'll cook for you.
Well, that's surpassing kind of you, Ellie.
Well, I need to practice.
True, true. But if we don't do like Granny wants, we ain't never gonna hear the last of it.
Where'll we sleep?
Well, you women folks can take the bedroom. Jethro and me'll spread a blanket in front of the fireplace.
That floor's awful hard.
Well, it'll only be till Granny gets this notion out of her craw.
Oh, here you are.
Morning, Shorty.
Morning, Mr. Keller.
What you doing down here?
We's fixing to move into this little old cabin.
Everybody?
You're welcome to join us, Shorty. You can bed down on the floor with Jethro and me.
If it's all the same to you, I'd like to stay in the mansion.
Well, you'll be all alone.
I'll rough it.
You can manage that big old place all by yourself?
Jed, I used to run a hotel by myself.
Alverna Bradshaw ain't here to cook for you no more.
I'll make out.
That big old mansion is likely to be kind of cold and lonely without a woman's touch.
Yeah, that's true. But I'll get along.
Okay, Shorty, place is yours.
It's a deal. Mademoiselles from Beverly Hills, parlez-vous. Moving here for fun and thrill, parlez-vous. The food is good and the rooms is large, and if you're pretty, there is no charge. Hinky-dinky, parlez-vous.
Excuse me, Chief. Several of the girls from the secretarial pool would like to take a little extra time at lunch to go and look at a new hotel for women.
The answer is no.
Oh, all they need is 15 minutes. They can take my car if you let them go.
The answer is no.
Some millionaire has donated his mansion as a hotel for young working girls, and the rates are fabulously cheap.
The answer is no.
It's located close to your house, and if you needed to have some dictation done some night, they'd be available.
The answer is no.
They'll work for nothing.
The answer is yes. You knew I'd give in. I'm just an old soft.
Yes, you're a regular marshmallow.
The rates are cheap, you say?
Yes, the girls think they'll be able to save at least $10 a week over what they're paying now.
$10 a week, say, that's a lot for a working girl.
Well, it certainly is.
The trouble is they'll squander it foolishly. I tell you what, I'll withhold $5 a week from each girl and put it in a special Christmas fund.
Well, that's marvelous.
You bet. I'll need all I can get next Christmas.
Well, this really is a mansion. Look at the beautiful grounds. And the rates are so cheap. I wonder what the catch is.
Hello, girls.
There's the catch. Oh, Shorty's cute. Yeah, he's fun.
Welcome to Shorty's Hotel for Women, where you live in luxury for $1 a day. And that includes private room and bath, delicious meals, maid service, laundry, swimming pool, tennis courts, croquet, and billiards.
For $1 a day? How can you do it?
Volume! Come on inside, look around.
Girls, look at this. What a pad. This is super. Whoopee.
You ain't seen nothing yet. Step into the main ballroom. There's free entertainment in here every night.
Really? What kind of entertainment?
Music and dancing.
You have a dancing act?
4 girls and a feller.
Who are they?
You 4 and me.
Do you think we're going to be safe in this hotel of yours?
Oh, of course. If anybody gets out of line, just call for the house detective.
Where is he?
Right here.
Oh, girls, our lunch hour's almost gone. We have to get back to the bank. Mr. Drysdale will be furious.
You can't leave yet. You ain't seen the place.
I'll phone Miss Hathaway. She's a good scout. She'll cover for us.
There's a phone in the lobby. No charge for local calls.
Mr. Drysdale's office. Oh, yes, Helen.
Helen who?
One of the girls is looking at the new hotel for women.
Tell them if they're not back here in 5 minutes, they're fired.
Chief,
Give me that phone. Where are you?
Just a moment, Mr. Drysdale, sir. Shorty, what's the address here?
I don't know. It's a Jed Clampett mansion.
It's the Jed Clampett mansion.
The Jed Clampett mansion. Mr. Clampett is the millionaire who donated his mansion for the hotel.
He probably realizes how oppressed and underpaid your secretaries are.
You think so?
Why else would he do it?
Helen, dear. Now, you girls take your time. In fact, why don't you take the rest of the day off? Miss Hathaway will do your work.
Oh, thanks.
And Helen, tell your landlord that I send him my very best. Bye.
Goodbye, sir, and thank you. Girls, we have the rest of the day off. Oh, and Shorty, Mr. Drysdale would like to send you his best.
I thought I had his best. But if he's got any better than you, tell him to send them over.
Hey, Uncle Jed, look what Granny's got me doing.
Good for her.
But I'm a sophisticated international playboy with a 6th grade education, a member of the Jet Set. Jet Setters don't slop hogs.
They don't, huh?
No, sir, no. We jets around betwixt Paris, Rome, and tequila, and drink Acapulcos.
You ain't never done none of them things.
I set on a jet. That makes me a jet setter.
Well, right now you're a hog slopper. And after that, you're going to be a cow milker.
Please, Uncle Jed, let me move back into the mansion where I belong.
Who do your chores?
Oh, Ellie Mae just loves to do this here rube stuff.
Well, maybe Shorty is getting a mite lonesome up there all by himself.
Oh, I'll bet you he's just dying to have me join him.
Right back.
Stop by the bank and bring along the best of the rest. Remember, single girls only. And if they dance as close, they get the cut rate.
Hey, Shorty, where are you?
Who's that?
Ah, that's one of the hard help. They ain't supposed to be in the house. I'll get rid of them. See you later.
Oh, here you are, Shorty. Good news. I'm moving in with you.
That's good news. That's good news.
Hey, whose car's that?
Oh, Miss James.
What's she doing here?
Oh, she come by and offer me a job down at your bank working in the secretarial pool.
Hey, you taking it, ain't you?
No, I don't think so.
Shorty, that secretarial pool is full of pretty girls.
Yeah, that's the trouble, Jethro. I'm getting too old for that kind of nonsense.
I ain't. I'm just the right age for that kind of nonsense.
Yeah, oh, I wish I was young again like you.
Oh, come on, Shorty. Let me have the job. Huh, Shorty? Huh? Please? Huh, Shorty, please?
I don't know, Jethro. You'd likely get them girls stirred up to where they couldn't work. You're so doggone good looking.
I'll force myself to look homely. Look at that.
Well, maybe.
Oh, come on, Shorty, please, huh?
Well, okay.
Oh, thank you, Shorty, thank you.
When you get to the bank, just go right on in the secretarial pool. I'll arrange everything.
I really appreciate this, Shorty. And to prove it, I'm going to give you half everything I make.
Half or nothing. Big deal.
Chief, I questioned the rest of the girls in the secretarial pool, and 3 more of them qualify for Mr. Clampett's hotel.
What do you mean qualify?
Well, it's restricted to single girls.
Say, that's a great idea. Let's see. That's a total of 7, $5 each, that's $35 a week. That makes over $1,800 a year for the Milburn Drysdale Christmas Fund.
Chief, you're not going to really deduct that money?
How long have you known me?
You're going to
Deduct that money. You bet.
Only one girl isn't interested.
Why not?
I'll let her explain. Come in, Miss Bell. Mr. Drysdale wants to know why you're not interested in the hotel for women.
Well, I live at home, so I wouldn't save anything.
Do you live in a mansion?
Of course not.
Do you ride to work in a limousine?
No, I ride the bus.
How much does it cost you?
50 cents a day.
That's $2.50 a week.
What are you getting at, Chief?
Well, I live next door to the Clampett Mansion, and she can ride back and forth with me.
Gee, that'd be swell. I spend 2 hours a day on the bus.
Well, my limousine makes a trip in 5 minutes.
It would be fun living with the other girls in the secretarial pool. And in a mansion, too?
And it automatically qualifies you to participate in a special Christmas fund.
Wow!
You're making it unanimous, then?
All right, I'll give it a try.
That's a smart girl. You make a wise move.
Thank you.
How's Bossy doing?
Just fine, pal. She's gonna get pretty near a gal.
Oh, good. I fixed Granny's churn so we can have us some fresh butter.
Well, how's everybody out here?
Just fine and dandy. How's everything up to the mansion?
Great. Just great.
If you get lonesome, you can come get Bossy.
No, let Granny stay here. Oh, you mean this Bossy? Yeah.
Hello, Shorty.
Hi, Granny.
Well, finish your chores, everybody. Victuals will be ready soon.
Good. I'm going to need a lot of food.
How come?
Granny, he's feeding Jethro.
That's it.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Well, you and Jethro come down in a half hour.
I'll take our victuals up to the mansion.
How come?
Granny, there wouldn't be room at our little table.
That's it.
Yeah, I forgot. The way Jethro eats, we could get elbow gored.
Yeah. I'll be back for our victuals. Bye.
Shorty seems to be getting along fine up at the mansion.
I reckon him and Jethro thinks of things to do.
Well, 2 heads is better than 1.
Not when one of them's Jethro.
Gloria, I thought Shorty said we'd get free laundry service.
Oh, I can't let that sweet little doll do our washing.
Tell me something. How come you and Shorty are so chummy?
Oh, didn't you know? Shorty and I were married.
Really?
Yeah, for about an hour.
Well, for Hollywood, I guess that isn't bad.
What you doing, girls?
Just finishing our laundry, Shorty.
I said I'd do that.
You can hang it up for us.
There's a dryer right in yonder.
Not for these dainty things.
Miss Daisy, ain't they? All right, you girls set the table in the main ballroom, and I'll hang this stuff up for you.
Thank you, you little doll.
You're welcome, you big doll.
Well, I'm glad to see you two are still friendly.
Oh, yeah, the marriage wasn't a success, but the separation's a ball.
Shorty, Granny says your victuals is... What's all this?
My laundry, kid. I just finished doing my washing.
This stuff belongs to you, does it?
This is what I call my dainty thing.
Sure is dainty, all right.
Yeah, real comfortable, though.
When did you take to wearing stuff like this?
Just since I come to Hollywood.
He seems to be considerably bigger than these others.
Yeah, well, them belongs to Jethro.
Jethro wears this stuff, too?
Yeah, looks great in him. You ought to see him.
Ain't so sure I'd like to.
You started to say something about victuals, Jed.
Yeah, Granny says it's ready whenever you want to come get 'em.
I'll go back with you right now.
So you and Jethro wears this stuff, huh?
Yeah, styles and men's clothes is changing.
They sure enough is.
You ought to slip into a pair of these. They feel real good next to your hide.
I believe I'll pass on that.
I know it's hard for a couple old hay shakers like us to change our ways, Jed, but you gotta remember this is Hollywood.
Well, hello, boy. Where you been?
Down to the bank?
You look mighty unhappy. Something wrong?
Yeah. I'm what you call uptight.
I wonder with what you're wearing.
I'll be right with you, Jed.
What's the matter with what I'm wearing?
Nothing. How'd the job go?
Oh, terrible. Wasn't nothing in that secretarial pool except married women. All them pretty single girls was gone.
Uh-oh. I bet they's all out with that new flu that's going around.
New flu?
Yeah, it only attacks single people. Jethro, you're single. You've been exposed to it. Sit down quick. Yeah, yep. You got the first symptom.
My forehead ain't hot.
That's the first symptom, cool forehead. Close your eyes. That hurt?
Yeah.
That's the second symptom, tender nose. Keep your eyes closed. They could suffer permanent damage. Do you have a ringing in your ear?
Yeah.
That's the clincher. Come on, I gotta get you in a root cellar right quick.
The root cellar?
Yeah, you gotta stay in a cool, dark place, otherwise your eyes liable to be ruined. How'd you like your supper, girls?
Oh, it was good,
But rather strange.
Yes, I've never tasted anything like that before.
That was soul food, children. Soul food, just like we used to have down home. Who's that?
That's the gardener's half-wit nephew. I'll get rid of him. How about a little after-supper singing and dancing?
Oh, yes. What about the dishes?
Oh, leave 'em for the maid. Somebody turn on the record player. Let's start the fun.
Oh, good.
Excuse me a minute, darling. Keep your motor running.
Hey, Shorty, let me in. I want to meet them pretty girls.
What pretty girl?
The ones I seen sitting in the parlor.
I told you to stay in the root cellar or you'd ruin your eyes. What do you want?
I want in.
Can't you read? This is a hotel for women. No men allowed.
Them sure was fine bills, Granny.
Just dandy. Sorry I didn't have enough for seconds, but Shorty toted most of it away. He must eat as much as Jethro.
No wonder he walks in his sleep.
Shorty?
Yes, sir. He asked me to come up to the mansion in the morning and make up all the beds.
All the beds?
Yes, sir. Shorty says when he walks in his sleep, he might climb into 7 or 8 different beds and not even know it.
The man sure has been acting peculiar lately. Dressing peculiar, too.
What you mean?
He has took to wearing some mighty fancy underwear. Got Jethro wearing it, too.
Well, you know Jethro. Monkey see, monkey do.
Oh, howdy, ma'am.
Hi, Jed.
Jethro? Is that you?
Yes, sir. Guess you're wondering what I'm doing in this getup.
It just crossed my mind.
You see, if I don't dress like this, I can't get into Shorty's party.
Shorty got you wearing that?
Yes, sir.
Wait right here, boy. Shorty! Come out here on a double.
Oh, hi, Jed.
Hi.
Something wrong?
Yeah, that.
Say, she's a big one, ain't she?
Yes, he is. That's Jethro.
No fooling. He don't look bad, does he?
I think he does. Boy, get out of them duds.
Oh, do I have to?
You do. Now get.
Doggone it, now I can't get into the party.
Shorty, commence packing. You're going back to the hills.
But, Jed, I got a good thing going in yonder.
Never mind. You do as I tell you. And let me give you some advice.
What's that?
Put on your long johns before you get back home.
What you mean?
It may be all right in Hollywood, But you wear that fancy underwear back in the hills, and they'll ride you out of town on a rail. Thank you.
We're short of men.
I figured that.
Hey, Granny. Let's move back into the mansion. This rube living ain't for a sophisticated playboy like me.
Go get dressed and help your Uncle Jed with the chores.
But this'll ruin me with the international jet set.
Talk sense, boy.
Well, what if word was to get back to Princess Grace and Prince Reindeer?
Jethro! The whole mansion is full of girls.
What?
There's a different pretty girl sleeping in pretty near every room.
I'll get dressed and go investigate.
That seemed to wake him up.
Sure did.
You all stay here. Them girls might be dangerous.
Jethro, we'll all go together. Does that sign say hotel for women?
Sure enough does.
That's Shorty Kellum. Whilst we was living in the cabin, he must have sold the mansion.
You reckon that's what happened?
I'll go ask the girls.
Never mind. We'll ask Shorty.
But you can't do that, Granny. I'll send him back to the hills.
I'll go ask the girls.
Here comes Jed. Maybe he knows about this.
It'll be more reliable if I go ask the girls.
No, it won't.
But it'll be more fun.
Morning, everybody.
Morning, Pop. Did you see our big sign?
Well, I'll be doggone. So that's how Shorty got all them women to come over here.
How many girls do you reckon is staying in there?
I'll go count them.
Never mind, Jethro. We'll wait till they get up.
I wonder what time city girls get up.
I don't know.
I'll go find out.
Jethro, you stick with us.
I ain't scared of them little old girls.
Mighty brave, but you stick with us.
I'll finish fixing breakfast. Come on, everybody, to the kitchen.
Where do you think you're going?
If Granny's gonna fix breakfast, somebody's gotta go wake the girls.
They likely got an alarm clock.
I'll go see.
Jethro? What are you fixing to have for breakfast, Granny?
I'm just wondering what them city girls would like to eat.
I'll go ask them. Well, you're always after me to do chores, and now that I'm willing, you won't let me.
What's wrong with me?
Where are we going?
You'll find out.
I declare that Jethro has picked up Shorty's ways. Thank goodness he's gone back home.
Well, maybe he's just hiding in the root cellar again.
Maybe you're right. I best go check.
Granny, can I go ahead and start cooking breakfast?
No. No, Ellie, just make the coffee.
Listen.
Ellie, on second thought, just boil some water.
Yes,
Ellie,
yes, sir?
try not to burn it.
Uncle Jed, I can't believe you'd lock your nephew in a cage like a wild animal.
It's true.
You done violated my constitutional rights. I'm gonna get me a lawyer and throw down on you with a subpoena.
Lots of luck.
I'm taking this case to the highest court in the land. I'll go even higher. Walter Cronkite's gonna hear about this.
Jim, do you reckon the Shorty Kellums could be hiding in the root cellar?
Now take a look.
Well, Uncle Jed sure put you in the right place.
He's gonna be sorry, though, because I'm going on a hunger strike.
Is that a fact?
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna waste away and die right here in this cage.
Well, that's too bad. Because I was just fixing bacon and eggs, ham and grits, sausage and flapjacks, steak and fried taters, and fruit and cereal.
I'll have a double helping each.
What about your hunger strike?
You don't expect me to start that on an empty stomach.
True, girls, we really are living in a mansion.
When I woke up this morning, I thought it was all a dream.
Me too. The dreamiest part is that we get all of this for only $1 a day.
With meals and maid service.
Oh, that Shorty Kellums, what a doll. I smell fresh coffee.
Me too.
Let's get dressed and come downstairs and have breakfast. Wait a minute. Shorty said we get breakfast in bed. What if Shorty serves it? Let's get dressed. and then come downstairs and have breakfast.
Morning, girls. Is everybody up?
No, just 3 of us so far.
Well, Granny asked me to find out how many for breakfast.
7 altogether. That Gran is a great cook.
She sure is.
Are you the maid who cleans our rooms and makes our beds?
Yes, ma'am. I told Mr. Killams I'd do that.
And your father does the gardening?
That's right.
And Shorty said there was a half-wit nephew.
He must have meant Jethro. He's locked up in a cage out back.
Is he dangerous?
Well, only if you try to take his food away from him.
He won't be having breakfast with us, will he?
Oh, no, ma'am. He'll like eating his cake.
Good. Well, we'll wake the other girls and be down for breakfast.
Morning, Miss Hathaway.
Well, good morning, Chief. You're early.
Well, you know the old saying, early to bed and early to rise makes a man wealthy.
I believe that's healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Healthy and wise you can have. I'll take wealthy.
I hope you remember to bring Miss Bell with you this morning.
Who?
Jean Bell. She's employed here at the bank.
And I promised to bring her to work?
Oh, Chief, think back. She's the only member of the secretarial pool who didn't want to move into the Clampett mansion, and you wondered why.
Well, I live at home, so I wouldn't save anything.
Do you live in a mansion?
Of course not.
Do you ride to work in a limousine?
No, I ride the bus.
How much does it cost you?
50 cents a day.
That's $2.50 a week.
What are you getting at, Chief?
Well, I live next door to the Clampett mansion, and she can ride back and forth with me.
Gee, that'd be swell.
Oh, yes, I remember now. Gee, I'm sorry I forgot to pick her up. I could have collected that 50 cents bus fare.
Chief, you are a miserable man.
I am not. I'm as happy as a lark. Now, don't forget, I'm collecting $5 a week from each of those 7 secretaries. That makes over $1,800 a year for little old me.
You are just not to be believed.
Now, look, Jed Clampett is letting those girls live in his mansion for $1 a day. If he can be a philanthropist, so can I.
The only reason I continue to work for you is that when you finally get your comeuppance, I want to be there.
Big deal.
Chief, I think your comeuppance is about to come up. Miss Bell's brothers are here to see you.
Who?
Oh, you'll remember them when you see them. Come in, gentlemen.
Look, I don't want to be disturbed. I'm not into anybody. I'm not into anybody except these 2 gentlemen right here. Well, what can I do for you, gentlemen?
You can tell us why our sister left home.
Your sister?
Jean Bell. She works here, remember? She said you talked her into moving away from home.
Oh, that? Well, yes, I did, but there was a reason.
We'd like to hear it.
Well, you see, she had a chance to move into this mansion.
Mansion?
Beautiful, luxurious. Believe me, your sister is living the life of a princess.
Who's the prince?
Oh, no. Nothing like that. You see, this is a hotel for women. All the single girls in my secretarial pool are staying there. Right, Miss Hathaway?
That is correct, gentlemen.
Each girl gets a private room with bath, meals, maid service, everything. And all for $1 a day.
$1 a day? In a mansion?
Am I right, Miss Hathaway?
Again, he is correct, gentlemen. You see, the mansion is owned by a truly exceptional man. He is enormously wealthy, but this has not affected his sense of values. He's simple, kind-hearted, generous, thoughtful. A true philanthropist in every...
Please, Miss Hathaway, that's enough about me. She forgot to add that I'm also very modest.
Earl, do you believe this story? Not a word of it.
Well, then I shall prove it to you. Miss Hathaway, call my hotel for women. Tell Miss Bell she need not come to work today. She can spend the whole day there.
Oh, but Chief...
Now! Do it quickly. Now, I have to be firm with some of my children. Now, I'm giving your sister the day off. And the 2 of you can go and see for yourselves the luxurious surroundings which I have so generously provided for her. There, now, there's the address of the mansion.
That seems fair enough.
Well, that's another of my qualities she left out. Modest and fair. Now, you'll find a family of retainers staying at the mansion, the Clampetts. Now, they do the gardening, the cooking, housekeeping. You'll find your sister is being waited on just hand and foot.
Really, Miss Hathaway? Oh, that's wonderful.
Tell Mr. Drysdale thanks ever so much. Bye. Girls, you go on without me. I've got the day off.
Ain't you going to work, Miss Jean?
No, Mr. Drysdale gave me the day off. Can I help you make the beds?
Oh, done finished with that. Now I'm going to help Granny work in the garden and make soap.
Oh, can I help too?
You know how to make lye soap?
Sure. My mother used to make it down home.
Well, all right. But I'd best give you some old clothes to wear.
Fine.
Come on.
Okay, boy, I'm going to let you out now.
It's too late for me to forgive you now, Uncle Jed.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I've done been humiliated clean past what my sensitive nature can stand. You're gonna pay a terrible price for what you done to me.
What price is that?
You're gonna lose me. I'm running away from home.
Is that a fact?
Yes, sir. When animals is free to swing and human beings is locked in cages, well, that's all the hint I need.
So you're leaving home?
My pride demands it. So take a last look at your favorite nephew.
Okay, I took it.
This is goodbye, Uncle Jed.
Bye, boy.
We won't meet again till you see me on the other side.
The other side of what?
The table. I'll be home for supper.
Mr. Drysdale's done give Jean the day off, so she's going to help us with the chores.
Bless your heart. But I gotta warn you, making lye soap and digging in the garden and such ain't like secretary work.
Oh, I know that.
Jean says her ma used to make lye soap.
Is that a fact?
Yes, ma'am. She made soul food, too, but not as good as yours.
Oh, I have got a few cooking secrets.
Could you teach me the secret of those hog jaws and collard greens you made last night?
I'd be glad to. As soon as the other chores is done, we'll commence with the cooking lesson.
Oh, wonderful.
Ellie, you get the fire going under the soap kettle.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm glad to see you wearing working duds. I ought to change out of my good clothes, too. I'll join you and Ellie out back.
Jean, have you ever seen a swinging cat?
Seen one. Honey, I swung with one.
Come meet Rusty and Duke, too.
Duke? That's the name of the cat I used to swing with.
My Duke's a dog.
So was mine.
This is it, Cookie. Hotel for women. Yeah, this really is a mansion. You can't blame Jean for wanting to live in a place like this.
Come in. Oh, howdy, boys.
How do you do?
I'm sorry to tell you, but this hotel is just for girls.
We know that. We just came here to see our sister, Jean Bell.
Oh, yeah, little Jeannie. Well, she ain't here in the house. She's out in the cabin out back.
Cabin?
Come on, I'll show you where she is.
You know, Jean, I think it needs more renderings.
I think you're right.
Well, Granny made chitlins this morning. I reckon there's a can of renderings in the cabin.
I'll stir while you look.
Yonder she is,
What is she doing?
making lye soap. When she's done with that, she's gonna do work in the garden, and then she's gonna get to the cooking.
Thanks very much. But don't tell our sister we were here.
Are you leaving already?
Yes, ma'am. We have to go talk to a bank president.
I know one. His name is Mr. Drysdale.
That's the one we're going to talk to.
Well, give him my love.
We'll do that. He's going to need all the love he can get.
How'd the lye soap turn out, Granny?
Oh, just dandy, Jed. That Jean Bell can make lye soap pert near as good as me.
Where is she?
Her and Ellie's out digging taters. They've already picked 2 bushels of collard greens, weeded the turnip patch, and hoed the beans.
Well, doggies. That little Jean is a dandy worker for a city girl.
Oh, Jed, she's a hill girl.
Howdy, Pop. You know Miss Jean Bell.
I sure do. Looks like you girls got a dandy mess of taters.
Yes, sir.
Granny, would you like for us to wash and peel them?
No, I'll do that. You 2 deserves a rest.
Hey, Jean, would you like to go for a swim?
Oh, that sounds great.
Well, come on. Be back directly, Granny.
Take your time.
Granny, would you show me how to make that possum pie you had last night?
You bet I will, darling.
Thank you, Granny.
I'll see who it is, Jean. Oh, howdy, Mr. Drysdale. Come on in.
Thank you, Ellie. Well, it looks like you've really taken advantage of your day off, Miss Bell.
Does that mean it's over?
Have your brothers come to see you?
No, sir.
Then it's not over. Enjoy yourself. Have fun.
Mr. Drysdale,
Yes.
you go swimming with us?
No, I'll get back to the bank. I just want to see how things look, and they look real good. Goodbye, girls.
He sure is a nice man to have for a ball thing.
He is today. For some strange reason.
All right, Miss Hathaway, bring in your dictation book. We'll get... Who did this?
One of the two boys waiting in your office.
All right, who's a smart Alec who did this?
Me.
Oh, that was real smart, Alec. No, it's Earl, isn't it?
Right.
It's great printing, just great. What's the idea?
We went to see our sister.
Oh, good. Then you had a first-hand picture of the life she's leading.
Right.
You saw the palatial mansion?
Right.
You saw the luxurious surroundings?
Right.
You saw the lovely gardens, the beautiful swimming pool?
Right.
And you saw your sister enjoying all that?
Wrong.
Wrong?
Right.
When I saw her, she was having a ball.
You have a funny idea of how to have a ball.
Fella, something must be wrong.
Right.
Maybe you better go back and have another look.
Would you like to come with us?
Would you like me to come with you?
We would.
Then I'm coming with you.
Right on.
I'm ready for my cooking lesson, Granny.
Good. Here, put on this apron.
Do I get a cooking lesson too, Granny?
Well, darling, I think your talents run more in other directions.
Like scrapping.
Laughing?
Yeah, you know, like cutting up scraps to make quilts.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, thank you. I'd like to do that.
What shall I do first, Granny?
Well, you can come in fixing the dough to make the possum pie crust. Jed, can I see you for a minute?
Sure.
Jed, I got a problem.
What is it?
I am plumb out of salted down possums.
What you gonna do?
Well, them pet possums of Ellie's is nice and fat.
Oh, Granny, you ain't putting Bonnie and Clyde in no pie.
But I promised Jean.
I tell you what, Jethro has just come back from running away, and him and me will take a ride out in the country and bring you back a brace of them.
Good.
Granny, want to show me what to cut up for quilt scraps?
Yes, darling. Jeannie, you can be simmering the hog jows.
All right, Granny.
Come on, darling. We'll go up to the attic and look for some material to do the quilting with.
Yes, ma'am.
Why are we coming out here? This is where the help lives.
Right. And our sister is it.
Oh, no, your sister lives in the mansion.
We don't think so.
Gentlemen, believe me, something is wrong.
Right.
Now, you fellas go back to the bank and wait for me. I'll straighten this out.
Hi, Mr. Drysdale.
What are you doing?
Making possum pie.
You're not supposed to be doing this kind of work.
But I want to.
Nonsense. Now, go put on your good clothes. You're coming back to the bank.
Please let me stay and finish my possum pie, my hog jaws, and collard greens.
Nothing doing. You're coming with me.
Please, Mr. Drysdale. Please don't make me go back there.
You're going back where you belong, and that's that. I've had enough trouble with you. Come.
Where do you suppose he's taking her now? Let's follow him and find out. Right.
Please, Mr. Drysdale, I promised Granny.
Never mind what you promised, Granny. You're coming back to the secretarial pool where you belong. What do you think you're doing?
I'm staying right here until I explain to Granny.
Now, give me the key.
No, sir.
Okay, I'll call the locksmith.
Hey, Cookie and Earl, what are you doing here?
Looking for you. And Mr. Drysdale. Where is he now?
He just went into the mansion.
You can sit right here and cut your quilting blocks, honey.
Yes'm, Granny.
I'll go see how Jean's doing with the cooking.
Granny.
Mr. Drysdale, how'd you get in here?
Cookie and Earl put me in here.
Who are they?
Well, it's a long story, Granny. Can you get me out of here?
Sure. Where's the key?
I've got it.
Well, let's have it.
I can't. They made me swallow it.
Chapter 1. The Mystery of the Missing Matriarch. The morning sun had barely managed to clear the tops of the tall, elegant trees surrounding the estate when Jed Clampett stepped onto the porch of a small wooden cabin. The air was crisp, carrying the sharp, clean scent of dew on sweetgrass, a welcome change from the heavy, smoggy atmosphere that often hung over the rest of Beverly Hills. He drew in a deep breath, stretching his long arms, his weathered face settling into a peaceful smile. For a moment, if he closed his eyes, he could almost pretend he was back in the hills, far away from the concrete and the commotion of the city. Inside the cabin, the kitchen area was dark and quiet. Jeb was leaning over the hearth, poking idly at some cold ashes with a stick, looking thoroughly defeated. Jed walked in, his boots tapping softly against the wooden floorboards, and clapped a hand on the younger man's shoulder.
"Good morning, Jeb."
"Breakfast ready yet?" Jeb did not look up, his shoulders sagging further as he gave the ashes another useless poke. "Ready not, boy." "Granny ain't up yet." Jed frowned slightly, looking toward the small curtained alcove that served as the bedroom. It was highly unusual for Granny to be asleep past dawn. Back home, she was always the first one up, her skillet already sizzling with salt pork and her voice ringing out across the hills before the birds even started their morning songs. Before Jed could investigate further, the heavy wooden door of the cabin burst open with a loud bang. Jethro stood in the doorway, his chest heaving, his face pale beneath his oversized hat. He looked as though he had just sprinted up a mountain with a prize hog under each arm. Jethro, Granny's gone. Her bed ain't been slept in." Jed turned around fully, his brow furrowing into a deep, worried map of lines.
"What?"
"She's plumb disappeared," Jethro gasped, leaning against the doorframe to catch his breath. "Ain't no sign of her." Jed walked over to the window, looking out toward the vast, manicured lawns that stretched between the little cabin and the enormous stone mansion that sat like a mountain in the distance. The mansion was dark, its many windows reflecting the gray morning light. He rubbed his chin thoughtfully, trying to piece together where the fiery little woman could have gone in the middle of the night. "You reckon she went back to the hills with Alberta Bradshaw?" "No, sir," Jethro said, shaking his head so hard his hat slipped down over his eyes. He shoved it back up hastily. "I seen her after Miss Bradshaw left. I'll bet she's been kidnapped." At that moment, Ellie Mae came bursting through the door behind Jethro, her long blonde curls in complete disarray, her blue eyes wide with terror and brimming with tears. She threw her arms around her father's waist, burying her face in his flannel shirt. "Oh, Pa. Oh, please don't let no harm come to my darling little Granny." Jed wrapped a comforting arm around his daughter, patting her shoulder with a steady, reassuring hand, though his own heart was heavy with concern. "That's real touchin', boy," Jethro said, watching the display with a solemn nod. "Well, I sure don't want to have to eat Ellie's cookin'." Ellie Mae shot Jethro a fierce glare through her tears, but before she could launch into a defense of her culinary skills, Jed spoke up, his voice calm and grounded as always. "I think I know where she might be." Jethro's eyes went wide. "Where, Pa?" "Well, ever since we put up the old cabin out back, Granny has had a certain look in her eyes," Jed explained, pointing a long finger through the window toward the back edge of the property. "I'll bet you that's where we find her." He didn't waste another second. He led the way out of the mansion's shadow, walking with a purposeful stride across the soft grass. Ellie Mae, Jethro, and Jeb followed close behind, a small, worried procession marching through the morning fog. "Come on." As they walked past the small makeshift pens they had set up near the edge of the estate, Ellie Mae couldn't help but lean over the wooden slats to greet her favorite companions, her grief momentarily pushed aside by her boundless love for animals. "Morning, Mrs. Hog. Mrs. Cow. Good morning, chickens." The animals offered their usual assortment of grunts, moos, and clucks in response, which seemed to lift the spirits of the entire group. They rounded a thick patch of ornamental bushes that the estate's previous owners had planted, and there, nestled in a small clearing they had cleared themselves, stood the old cabin. It was a humble structure, made of rough-hewn logs and a stone chimney that was currently pumping out a thick, cheerful column of white smoke. Jed smiled, his suspicions confirmed. He walked up to the heavy timber door and pushed it open gently. "Well, we kind of figured we'd find you out here." Sitting in a rocking chair by the roaring fireplace, wrapped in a faded handmade quilt and looking thoroughly pleased with herself, was Granny. A large iron skillet was sitting over the flames, and the rich, mouth-watering aroma of breakfast was already filling the tiny room. "Granny, did you spend the night in that little old cabin?" "I did," Granny said, her voice sharp and full of pride as she rocked back and forth with a vigorous energy. "And it was pure heaven." Jethro looked around the cramped, single-room structure, his gaze lingering on the uneven logs and the dirt-smudged hearth. He looked completely bewildered. "Heaven? This little shack?" "Jeth," Granny snapped, pointing a wooden spoon at him. "Let's all move back in here where we belong and live the good life." Jed gave a slow, patient shake of his head, leaning his tall frame against the doorpost. He loved the old ways as much as anyone, but he also possessed a strong streak of practical common sense. "Granny, we ain't movin' out of no 32-room mansion into this dump." Granny sniffed loudly, turning her attention back to the skillet, where several thick slices of meat were beginning to sizzle and pop beautifully. Something sure smells good." Jethro stepped closer to the fire, his stomach letting out a loud, rumbling growl that seemed to shake the very foundations of the cabin. He stared down at the food with absolute devotion. "I'm fixin' fried ham, whole cakes, and gravy," Granny announced, her chest swelling with satisfaction as she stirred the thick, white mixture in a smaller pot. Jethro turned back to Jed, his eyes shining with a sudden, intense shift in loyalty. "Uncle Jed, let's move in here and live the good life." Jed chuckled, holding up a hand to stem the tide of his nephew's bottomless appetite. "Wait, super stomach. Let me set the table first. Pa, is we really gonna move into this little cabin, all four of us?" Ellie Mae asked, looking around the tiny space. She didn't mind the roughness of it, but she did wonder where all her animal friends would fit if they all crammed inside. "Well, if we don't, Granny ain't gonna give us no peace and no victuals," Jed said with a wry smile. "Well, if you want to stay in the mansion, I'll cook for you," Ellie Mae offered generously, smiling up at her father. Jed's smile faltered slightly, a look of mild panic flitting across his eyes before he quickly masked it with his usual politeness. "Well, that's surpassing kind of you, Ellie." "Well, I need to practice," she said cheerfully. True, Jed agreed, nodding slowly. "But if we don't do like Granny wants, we ain't never gonna hear the last of it." Jethro scratched his head, looking at the single bed in the corner and then at the hard wooden floorboards. "Well, where'll we sleep?" "Well, you women folks can take the bedroom," Jed decided, mapping out the layout in his head. "Yes, there are meal spreader blankets in front of the fireplace." Jethro looked down at the floor, his enthusiasm for the good life dipping slightly. "That floor's awful hard." "Well, it'll only be till Granny gets this notion out of her craw," Jed said reassuringly, clapping Jethro on the back. Chapter 2. Shorty's Grand Scheme. The transition to the cabin was swift, mostly because the family didn't have many possessions they cared to move out of the massive mansion. By midday, Jed and Jethro were standing outside the smaller structure, organizing a few tools, when a familiar figure came walking down the stone path from the main house. It was Shorty, wearing his usual oversized hat and a look of supreme confidence. "Oh, here you are." "Morning, Shorty," Jed called out. "Morning, Miss Kelly," Shorty said, tipping his hat toward Ellie Mae as she emerged from the cabin with a bucket of water. "What you doin' down here?" "We's fixin' to move into this little old cabin," Jed explained. Shorty looked from the tiny cabin to the massive, empty mansion looming in the background, a sudden spark of inspiration lighting up his eyes. "Everybody? You're welcome to join us, Shorty," Ellie Mae said with a bright smile. "You can bed down on the floor with Jethro and me." Shorty shuddered slightly at the thought of sharing a hard floor with Jethro's nocturnal thrashing. He took a step back, gesturing toward the great stone house. "If it's all the same to you, I'd like to stay in the mansion." Jed looked at him, surprised. "Well, you'll be all alone." "I'll rough it," Shorty said with a grin, trying to sound brave while suppressing his immense excitement at having a 32-room palace all to himself. "Can you manage that big old place all by yourself?" Jed asked, genuinely concerned about the upkeep of such a monstrous building for one small man. "Jerry used to run a hotel by himself," Shorty reasoned dismissively. "Elvin and Bradshaw ain't here to cook for you no more," Jethro pointed out, rubbing his own stomach at the thought of a life without a designated chef. "I'll make out," Shorty insisted. Jed looked up at the massive structure, shaking his head. "That big old mansion is likely to be kind of cold and lonely without a woman's touch." "Yeah, that's true," Shorty agreed, a brief shadow of doubt crossing his face before his ambition roared back to life. "But I'll get along." "Okay, Shorty," Jed said, stepping forward to shake his friend's hand, respecting his independence. "Place is yours." "It's a deal," Shorty said, his heart hammering with joy as the bargain was struck. As the family turned back to their cabin chores, Shorty turned on his heel and practically floated back up the path toward the mansion. He could already hear the music in his head, a lively, jazzy tune that belonged in a motion picture about high-flying city slickers. He began to hum to himself, the words forming naturally in his mind as he gazed upon his new domain. "Madam and gentlemen from Beverly Hills, Hollywood. Move in here for fun and thrills, Hollywood. The food is good and the rooms is large. And if you're pretty, there is no charge. Hinky Dinky Party." Chapter 3. The Commerce of Commerce. Across town, inside the gleaming glass tower of the Commerce Bank, Milburn Drysdale sat behind his massive mahogany desk, his fingers drumming a frantic, impatient rhythm on the polished wood. He was a man consumed by two things, the acquisition of money and the preservation of money. Beside him stood Miss Jane Hathaway, his loyal and endlessly efficient executive secretary, holding a thick stack of manila folders. "Excuse me, Chief." Drysdale did not look up from his ledger. "Several girls from the secretarial pool would like to take a little extra time at lunch to go and look at a new hotel for women." "The answer is no," Drysdale snapped, his voice sharp enough to cut glass. "All they need is 15 minutes, Jane persisted, taking a step forward. "They can take my car if you let them go." "The answer is no," he repeated, finally looking up with a glare that would have frozen a lesser employee. Jane sighed, opening the top folder to read the details. "Some millionaire has donated his mansion as a hotel for young working girls, and the rates are fabulously cheap." "The answer is no. It's located close to your house, and if you needed to have some dictation done some night, they'd be available," Jane argued, knowing exactly which strings to pull to get her boss's attention. "The answer is no. They'll work for nothing," Jane added quietly. Drysdale froze, his eyes widening to the size of silver dollars. The word nothing echoed in his mind like a beautiful, heavenly choir. "The answer is yes." Jane smiled a thin, knowing smile. "You knew I'd give in." "I ain't got an old sock," Drysdale muttered, leaning back in his leather chair and rubbing his temples, trying to justify his sudden about-face. "Yes, you're a regular marshmallow," Jane said dryly, closing the folder. "The rates are cheap, you say?" Drysdale asked, his financial instincts suddenly sharpening. "Yes, the girls think they'll be able to save at least $10 a week over what they're paying now." $10 a week, say, that's a lot for a working girl, Drysdale mused, his mind instantly calculating the percentages. "Oh, it certainly is." The trouble is they'll squander it foolishly. He leaned forward, a devious, charitable grin spreading across his face. I'll tell you what. I'll withhold $5 a week from each girl and put it in a special Christmas fund. Jane blinked, looking at him with a mixture of admiration and mild horror. Well, that's marvelous. You bet, Drysdale said, rubbing his hands together with glee. I'll need all I can get next Christmas. Chapter 4. Welcome to the Palace. An hour later, a sleek automobile pulled up the long, winding driveway of the Clampett estate, stopping directly in front of the grand stone entrance of the mansion. 4 young women from the bank's secretarial pool stepped out, their eyes wide as they took in the towering columns, the massive fountains, and the perfectly manicured hedges. Well, this really is a mansion. Look at the beautiful ground, another girl gasped, clutching her purse to her chest. And the rates are so cheap. I wonder what the catch is. Hello, girls. The heavy front doors swung open, and there stood Shorty, wearing a silk smoking jacket that was several sizes too large for him, leaning casually against the doorframe with a wide, welcoming grin. There's the catch, one of the girls whispered, though there was a definite giggle in her voice. Oh, Shorty's cute, another whispered back. Yeah, and he's fun. Welcome to Shorty's Hotel for Women, where you live in luxury for $1 a day, Shorty announced, stepping out onto the portico and gesturing broadly to the sprawling estate. And that includes private room and bath, delicious meals, maid service, laundry, swimming pool, tennis courts, cocaine, and vineyard. The girls gasped in unison, looking at each other in utter disbelief. For $1 a day? How can you do it? Volume, Shorty replied smoothly, without blinking an eye. Come on inside and look around. He led the group into the massive marble foyer. The crystal chandeliers overhead caught the sunlight, throwing glittering rainbows across the stone walls. Girls, look at this. What a pad. This is super. You ain't seen nothing yet, Shorty bragged, walking with a confident swagger that suggested he had built the place with his own 2 hands. Step into the main ballroom. It's free entertainment in here every night. Really? What kind of entertainment? Music and dancing, Shorty said, turning around to face them with a theatrical flourish. You have a dancing act? For girls and a fella, Shorty explained, nodding wisely. Who are they? You 4 and me, he said, flashing them a brilliant smile. One of the girls narrowed her eyes slightly, though she was still smiling. Do you think we're going to be safe in this hotel of yours? Oh, of course, Shorty assured her, puffing out his chest. If anybody gets out of line, just call for the house detective. Where is he? Right here, Shorty said, pointing a thumb at his own chest. Before the tour could proceed any further, one of the girls checked her wristwatch and let out a small shriek of panic. Girls, our lunch hour is almost gone. We have to get back to the bank. Mr. Drysdale will be furious. You can't leave yet, Shorty protested, catching her by the arm gently. You ain't seen the place. I'll phone Miss Hathaway, another girl suggested, pulling a notepad from her bag. She's a good scout. She'll cover for us. There's a phone in the lobby, Shorty offered, pointing toward a grand antique desk near the stairs. No charge for local calls. Chapter 5. The Administrative Alibi. Back at the Commerce Bank, the telephone on Jane Hathaway's desk rang out. She answered it instantly, her voice crisp and professional. Mr. Drysdale's office. Oh, yes, Helen. Helen who? From his inner office, Drysdale heard the name and came charging through the door like an angry bull, his face flushed. One of the girls who's looking at the new hotel for women. Tell them if they're not back in 5 minutes, they're fired. Chief Hathaway. Jane whispered intensely, trying to wave him away while keeping her ear glued to the receiver. Get me that phone. Where are you? On the other end of the line, Helen turned to Shorty, her hand covering the mouthpiece. Just a moment, Mr. Drysdale, sir. Shorty, what's the address here? I don't know, Shorty whispered back, looking around the grand room. It's the Jed Clampett mansion. Helen spoke back into the phone, her voice filled with awe. It's the Jed Clampett mansion. The Jed Clampett mansion. Drysdale froze mid-stride, his entire demeanor changing in a fraction of a second. The anger evaporated, replaced instantly by an oily, sycophantic grin. He practically tore the receiver out of Jane's hand. "Mr. Clampett is the millionaire who donated his mansion for the hotel," Drysdale said into the phone, his voice dripping with forced warmth. "He probably realizes how oppressed and underpaid your secretaries are." "You think so? Why else would he do it?"
"Helen, dear."
"Now, you girls take your time. In fact, why don't you take the rest of the day off? Miss Hathaway will do your work." Jane's jaw dropped, her arms falling to her sides in disbelief as she stared at her boss. "Oh, thanks," Helen's voice came crackling through the line. "And Helen, tell your landlord that I send him my very best," Drysdale added smoothly.
"Goodbye. Goodbye, sir."
"And thank you." Drysdale hung up the phone, looking thoroughly pleased with himself, entirely ignoring the murderous look Jane was giving him. In the mansion lobby, Helen hung up the receiver and turned to the other girls with a triumphant shout. "Girls, we have the rest of the day off. And, Shorty, Mr. Drysdale would like to send you his best." Shorty scratched his head, looking slightly confused by the banker's sudden generosity. "I thought I had his best. But if he's got any better news, tell him to send them over." Chapter 6. The Jet Setter and the Hog Pen. Out by the small cabin, the reality of rural life was in full swing. Jethro was standing knee-deep in mud inside the small pig pen, holding a wooden bucket full of thick, gray slop. He looked thoroughly miserable, his fancy city shoes ruined and his oversized hat covered in dust. Jed walked up to the edge of the fence, leaning against the top rail with a look of quiet amusement. "Hey, Uncle Jed, look what Granny's got me doing." "Good for her," Jed said simply. "But I'm a sophisticated international playboy with a 6th-grade education, a member of the jet set," Jethro complained, whining as he poured a bit of slop near a small pig. "Jet setters don't slop hogs." Jed raised an eyebrow.
"They don't, huh?"
"No, sir." No," Jethro said confidently, leaning on his wooden bucket as if it were a cane. "We jets around betwixt Paris, Rome, and tequila and drinks Acapulcos." Jed shook his head, a slow smile spreading across his face. "You ain't never done none of them things." "I sat on a jet," Jethro reasoned, puffing out his chest. "That makes me a jet setter." "Well, right now, you're a hog slopper," Jed pointed out, deflating his nephew's grand illusions with a single word. "And after that, you're going to be a cow milker." Jethro dropped his shoulders, looking back toward the massive stone mansion, longing for the days of luxury. "Please, Uncle Jed, let me move back into the mansion where I belong."
"Who do your chores?"
"Well, Ellie Mae just loves to do this here rube stuff," Jethro suggested helpfully, waving a hand toward his cousin who was currently talking to a family of raccoons near the woods. Jed rubbed his chin, looking back toward the mansion. "Well, maybe Shorty is getting a mite lonesome up there all by himself." Jethro's face lit up instantly. "Oh, I'll bet you he's just dying to have me join him." Chapter 7. The Recruitment Drive. Back at the mansion, Shorty was sitting by the pool, a pair of dark sunglasses perched on his nose, watching 3 of the secretaries splash around in the water. He was entirely in his element. He looked up as the grand French doors opened and Jethro stepped out, still looking a bit dusty but eager to join the high life. Like that, Shorty muttered to himself, not entirely thrilled to see his large cousin. "Stop by the bank and bring along the best of the rest. Remember, single girls only. And if they dance this close, they get the cut rate." "Hey, Shorty, where are you?" Jethro shouted, looking around the massive patio. Shorty took off his sunglasses, letting out a small sigh.
"Who's that?"
It's one of the hard hits. He's supposed to be in the house. I'll get rid of him. See you later." He stood up and walked over to intercept Jethro before the big man could wander too close to the pool area. "Oh, here you are, Shorty," Jethro said, his face splitting into a wide grin. "Good news. I'm moving in with you." Shorty's smile vanished. "That good news? That good news?" Jethro repeated enthusiastically. He then noticed a sleek sedan parked near the side garage. "Hey, whose car is that?" "Oh, Miss Jane's," Shorty replied casually. "What's she doing here?" Oh, she come by to offer me a job down at the bank working in the secretarial pool. Shorty lied smoothly, trying to make himself sound like a highly sought-after professional. Jethro looked at him, his jaw dropping. You staking it, ain't you? No, I don't think so, Shorty said, tossing his head back. Shorty, that secretarial pool is full of pretty girls, Jethro pointed out, his playboy instincts instantly kicking in. Yeah, that's a trouble, Jethro, Shorty said with a dramatic sigh, shaking his head. I'm getting too old for that kind of nonsense. Jethro stepped closer, practically vibrating with excitement. I ain't. I'm just the right age for that kind of nonsense. Yeah? Oh, I wish I was young again like you, Shorty lamented, playing the part perfectly. Oh, come on, Shorty. Let me have the job, Jethro pleaded, wrapping his large hands together. Huh, Shorty? Huh, please? Huh, Shorty, please? Shorty looked him up and down, pretending to give the matter deep, heavy thought. I don't know, Jethro. You'd likely get them girls stirred up to where they couldn't work. It's a doggone good-looking. I'll force myself to look homely, Jethro promised earnestly, making a ridiculous, twisted face to demonstrate his commitment. Look at that. Shorty bit his lip to keep from laughing. Well, maybe. Oh, come on, Shorty, please, huh? Well, okay. Shorty finally relented, waving a dismissive hand. Oh, thank you, Shorty. Thank you. Jethro cheered, practically bouncing on his heels. When you get to the bank, just go right on into the secretarial pool, Shorty instructed, tapping Jethro on the chest. I'll arrange everything. I really appreciate this, Shorty, Jethro said, his heart full of gratitude. And to prove it, I'm going to give you half everything I make. Shorty smiled a thin, sharp smile. Half or nothing. Big deal, Jethro said, entirely missing the financial trap as he turned and ran toward the driveway, eager to start his new career as a banking tycoon. Chapter 8. The Christmas Fund Expands. Inside the Commerce Bank, Drysdale was pacing behind Jane's desk, a large notepad in his hand, his pencil flying across the page as he tallied up his potential profits. Chief, I questioned the rest of the girls in the secretarial pool, Jane announced, looking up from her typewriter. And 3 more of them qualify for Mr. Columbus Hotel. Drysdale stopped pacing, his eyes gleaming. What do you mean, qualify? Well, it's restricted to single girls, Jane explained. Say, that's a great idea, Drysdale shouted, slapping the desk. Let's see. That's a total of 7, $5 each. That's $35 a week. That makes over $1,800 a year for the Milburn Drysdale Christmas Fund. Jane stared at him, her expression hardening into one of pure disapproval. Chief, you're not going to really deduct that money? Drysdale looked at her as if she had just suggested he throw all his gold into the ocean. How long have you known me? You're going to deduct. Jane began, her voice trailing off in disappointment. Deduct that money, Drysdale finished firmly, nodding his head. You bet. Only one girl isn't interested, Jane added, tapping a finger on a file. Why not? I'll let her explain, Jane said, turning toward the door.
Come in, Miss Bell.
A young woman with neat brown hair and a conservative dress stepped into the room, holding a small steno pad tightly against her ribs. Mr. Drysdale wants to know why you're not interested in the hotel for women, Jane said gently. Well, I live at home, so I wouldn't save anything, Miss Bell explained softly, looking nervous under Drysdale's intense gaze. Drysdale scoffed, leaning forward over the desk.
Do you live in a mansion?
Of course not, she whispered. Do you ride to work in a limousine? No, I ride the bus. How much does it cost you? 50 cents a day. That's $2.50 a week, Drysdale calculated instantly. Jane cleared her throat, looking at her boss with deep suspicion. What are you getting at, Chief? Well, I live next door to the Clampett mansion, and she can ride back and forth with me, Drysdale offered, his voice suddenly becoming the epitome of neighborly kindness. Miss Bell's face lit up with a brilliant, relieved smile. Gee, that'd be swell. I spend 2 hours a day on the bus. Well, my limousine makes a trip in 5 minutes, Drysdale bragged, waving a hand airily. It would be fun living with the other girls in the secretarial pool. And in a mansion, too? Jane added, trying to see the catch. And it automatically qualifies you to participate in a special Christmas fund, Drysdale concluded, flashing his most dazzling, untrustworthy smile.
Wow.
Miss Bell gasped, completely won over. You're making it unanimous, then? Drysdale pressed, sliding a piece of paper toward her. All right, I'll give it a try, she agreed, signing her name quickly. That's a smart girl, Drysdale praised, taking the paper back before the ink was even dry. You make a wise move. Thank you, Miss Bell said, turning and leaving the office with a much lighter step. Chapter 9. The Churn and the Chore. Down at the cabin, the afternoon was rolling along with its own steady rhythm. Jed was standing near a large wooden barrel, a heavy wooden paddle in his hands, rhythmically working the cream inside. Ellie Mae was sitting nearby on a low stool, gently brushing the coat of a small calf that was leaning contentedly against her knee. How's Bosky doing? Jed asked, looking over at his daughter. Just fine, pal, Ellie Mae replied with a bright smile. She's going to get pretty near a girl. Oh, good, Jed said, wiping his brow with the back of his sleeve. I fixed Granny's turn, so we can have us some fresh butter. The wooden gate clicked open, and Shorty came strolling into the small yard, looking completely unbothered by the dust or the heat, a serene expression on his face. Well, how's everybody out here? Just fine and dandy, Jed replied, slowing his churning rhythm for a moment. How's everything up to the mansion?
Great.
Just great, Shorty said, looking around the small yard with a hint of nervousness. If you get lonesome, you can come get Bosky. Jed shook his head with a slow smile. No, I'll let Granny stay here. Oh, you mean this Bosky? Shorty asked, pointing a finger toward the calf Ellie Mae was tending. Yeah, Jed nodded. The cabin door opened, and Granny stepped out onto the porch, her small frame radiating its usual boundless energy. She held a large wooden bowl in her hands. Hello, Shorty. Hi, Granny, Shorty called back, tipping his hat politely. Well, finish your chores, everybody, Granny announced, looking over the yard with a critical eye. Victuals will be ready soon. Good, Shorty said, his stomach letting out a small rumble. I'm going to need a lot of food. Granny frowned slightly, looking him up and down. How come? Granny. He's feeding Jethro, Jed interrupted quickly, giving Shorty a meaningful look. That's it. Oh, yeah, I forgot, Granny said, her brow clearing. Well, you and Jethro come down in a half hour. I'll take our victuals up to the mansion, Shorty offered quickly, taking a step back toward the path. Granny raised an eyebrow, clearly offended by the suggestion that her cabin wasn't good enough for a meal. How come? Granny, there wouldn't be room at our little table, Jed intervened again, his voice smooth and diplomatic. That's it. Oh, yeah, I forgot, Granny agreed, nodding slowly as she looked at the cramped interior of the cabin through the open door. The way Jethro eats, we could get elbow-gored. Oh, yeah, Shorty said, backing up another step. I'll be back for victuals.
Bye.
He turned and hurried back up the path before any more questions could be asked. Jed watched him go, a thoughtful look in his eyes as he resumed his steady churning. Shorty seems to be getting along fine up at the mansion, Jed mused aloud. I reckon him and Jethro thinks of things to do. Well, 2 heads better than 1, Ellie Mae said cheerfully, looking up from her calf. Not when one of them's Jethro, Jed noted dryly, the wooden paddle making a steady, heavy thud against the bottom of the barrel. Chapter 10. The Laundry Dilemma. Upstairs in one of the mansion's grand, marble-tiled utility rooms, 2 of the bank secretaries were looking over a massive pile of delicate garments that had been neatly washed and folded, sitting on a long antique table. Gloria, I thought Shorty said we'd get free laundry service, one of them said, holding up a lacy white slip. Oh, I can't let that sweet little doll do our washing, Gloria replied, smoothing out the fabric of her own dress.
Tell me something.
How come you and Shorty are so chummy? Oh, didn't you know? Gloria said with a light chuckle, tossing her hair back. Shorty and I were married. The other girl froze, her eyes wide. Really? Yeah, Gloria nodded, her smile growing wider. For about an hour. The other girl let out a breathless laugh, turning back to the laundry table. Well, for Hollywood, I guess that isn't bad. The grand doors opened and Shorty walked in, carrying a large wooden wicker basket under one arm. He looked at the two women with a look of mild exasperation. What you doing, girl? Just finishing our laundry, Shorty, Gloria said sweetly, gesturing to the pile. I said I'd do that, Shorty insisted, stepping forward to take the garments from her hands. You can hang it up for us. There's a dryer right in yonder. Gloria held up a pair of incredibly delicate, lace-trimmed stockings, shaking her head firmly. Not for these dainty things. Shorty looked at the tiny pieces of silk, a faint grin appearing on his face. Miss Dainty, ain't it? All right, you girls set the table in the main ballroom, and I'll hang this stuff up for you. Thank you, you little doll, Gloria said, patting him on the cheek as she walked past. You're welcome, you big doll, Shorty replied, his chest puffing out with pride as the two women left the room, their laughter echoing down the hallway. Shorty began sorting through the basket, humming his little tune again, when the door creaked open and Jed stepped into the utility room, holding a small tin bucket full of fresh cream. He stopped dead in his tracks, his eyes widening as he looked at the sheer volume of delicate, colorful women's garments hanging from the temporary lines Shorty had strung across the grand room. Well, I'm glad to see you two are still friendly, Jed said slowly, his voice laced with deep confusion. Oh, yeah, the marriage wasn't a success, but the separation's a baller, Shorty explained cheerfully, tossing a pair of silk stockings into the basket. Jed walked closer, setting his bucket down on a stool. Shorty, Granny says you're middlesome. What's all this? My laundry, kid, Shorty said without missing a beat, holding up a particularly bright piece of satin. I just finished doing the washing. This stuff belongs to you, doesn't it? Jed took a step back, his face a mask of absolute horror. Yeah, this is what I call my dainty thing. Sure is dainty, ain't it? Shorty remarked, inspecting the stitching. Dainty, all right, Jed muttered, his voice barely a whisper. Yeah, real comfortable, though, Shorty added, completely oblivious to his friend's internal crisis. Jed cleared his throat loudly, trying to find a polite way to address the situation. When did you take to wearing stuff like this? Just since I come to Hollywood, Shorty answered simply, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Jed pointed a long, shaking finger toward a much larger pair of satin garments hanging near the end of the line. These seems to be considerably bigger than these others. Yeah, well, Shorty began, suddenly realizing how it looked. Them belongs to Jethro. Jed's jaw dropped completely. Jethro wears the stuff, too? Yeah, looks great in him, Shorty said, trying to save face. He ought to see him. Ain't so sure I'd like to, Jed said quickly, shaking his head. You start to say something about fiddles yet? Yeah, Granny says he's ready whenever you want to come get him, Shorty remembered, picking up his basket. I'll go back with you right now. They walked out of the utility room together, Jed still casting terrified, sidelong glances at his small friend. So you and Jethro wears the stuff? Huh? Yeah, styles in men's clothes is changing, Shorty insisted defensively. Hey, sure enough is, Jed muttered under his breath. You ought to slip in a pair of these, Shorty suggested helpfully, patting the basket under his arm. They feel real good next to your hide. Jed shook his head firmly, his face turning a slight shade of red. I believe I'll pass on that. Ooh, Shorty muttered as they hit the cooler air of the grand hallway. I know it's hard for a couple old hayshakers like us to change our ways, Jed, but you gotta remember, this is Hollywood. Chapter 11. The Secretarial Syndrome. Down in the bank's basement garage, the grand black limousine pulled to a stop. The door opened, and Jethro climbed out, looking thoroughly defeated. His oversized hat was dented, and his hands were stuffed deep into his pockets. Jed was waiting by the entrance, leaning against the concrete wall, watching his nephew approach. Well, hello, boy. Where you been? Down to the bank, Jethro mumbled, his voice dragging along the floor. Jed looked him up and down, noticing the heavy, slouched posture. You look a mite unhappy. Something wrong? Yeah, Jethro sighed, kicking a small pebble across the concrete. I'm what you call uptight. Jed nodded slowly, his mind instantly flashing back to the utility room full of silk and lace. I don't wonder with what you're wearing. Before Jethro could respond, the elevator doors slid open and Shorty stepped out, carrying another small parcel. I'll be right with you, Jed, Shorty called out. Jethro looked down at his own dusty coat, utterly confused by his uncle's comment. What's the matter with what I'm wearing? Nothing, Jed said quickly, waving a hand dismissively. How'd the job go? Terrible, Jethro complained, throwing his arms up in despair. Wasn't nothing in that secretarial pool except married women. All them pretty single girls was gone. Jed's brow furrowed, a sudden look of concern crossing his face.
Oh.
I bet they's all out with that new flu that's going around. Jethro's eyes went wide with terror. New flu? Yeah, it only attacks single people, Jed explained solemnly, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. Jethro, you're single. You've been exposed to it. Sit down quick. Jethro dropped to his knees right there on the concrete garage floor, his heart hammering against his ribs. Yep. Jed leaned over him, inspecting his face closely. You got the first symptom. My forehead ain't hot, Jethro noted, reaching up to touch his own brow. That's the first symptom. Cool forehead, Jed stated authoritatively. Close your eyes. Jed reached out and gave Jethro's nose a small, sharp pinch.
Ow.
That hurt? Yeah, Jethro whimpered, clutching his nose. That's the second symptom, tender nose, Jed diagnosed with absolute certainty. Keep your eyes closed. They could suffer permanent damage. Do you have a ring in your ear? Jethro strained to listen to the quiet garage, a faint high-pitched whistle echoing in his head from his sheer panic.
Yeah.
That's the clincher, Jed announced, grabbing Jethro by the shoulder and hauling him to his feet. Come on, I gotta get you in a root cellar, right quick. Jethro allowed himself to be led toward the stairs, his eyes squeezed shut tightly. A root cellar? Yeah. You gotta stay in a cool, dark place, otherwise your eyes will be ruined, Jed warned, guiding his blind nephew carefully up the steps. Chapter 12. Soul Food and Suspicion. Later that evening, inside the grand ballroom of the mansion, the 4 bank secretaries were sitting around a long, elegant dining table that had been cleared of its dishes. The room was lit by dozens of candles, casting a warm, flickering glow across the high ceilings. Shorty was standing at the head of the table, looking incredibly pleased with himself. How do you like your supper, girls? Oh, it was good,